What a wicked game to play, to let me feel this way. What a wicked thing to do, to let me dream of you. What a wicked thing to say, you never felt this way. What a wicked thing to do, to make me dream of you.
Have you heard this band covering the old Chris Isaak song? Remember Wicked Game back in the day?
So
Isn't this good? Mm-hmm. Really good.
No, I don't want to fall in love.
This is a band called Tenacious D with Jack Black
I knew
singing.
it was him. I can't stand it. I was waiting for it. I was waiting for the shoe to drop.
See, you can't surprise anyone anymore. That's the problem.
I know, everything goes all over the
Like,
place.
Nobody
Listen to the.
Yeah, but you don't pick up on that until...
No, I knew it. I
Right
knew
off
it
the-
from the
from
beginning.
the-
I was
from
like,
the
he's going to
rip?
try to
Because
get
you
me.
saw it.
No, I didn't see anything.
How'd you know it was Jack Black?
Listen to it.
Huh,
I
really?
can hear it.
Okay.
Mhm.
I didn't know that you were so... It's strange that for somebody
Because
you
I
hate
hate
so
him.
much, you would be so in tune to the
'Cause
timbre of his...
know.
The
I have
timbre
to
of his
know
voice.
by 2 notes whether or not I like it.
Keep your friends close and keep your enemies closer.
Amen.
All right. Anyway, Chris Isaak, who I didn't even know if he was making albums anymore, actually has a brand new album called Everybody Knows It's Christmas. But Wicked Game was his biggest hit. That's a 30-year-old song. 20 years ago, he had a great show on Showtime. They had the Chris Isaak Show, and it was like a fictionalized version of him and his band. And it was so funny. Because he'll act from time to time. You'll see him in things. He was one of the SWAT team guys in Silence of the Lambs. And he was in, he did the Larry Sanders Show, but you play yourself back then. But he's always been very affable when they put him on camera. Put him on camera! Ammonia! He did an episode of Hot in Cleveland featuring the late Betty White. You may have heard of her. She was quite famous for a while. So yeah, anyway, there you go. Mary also getting me hip to the fact that you can be more prone to getting a cold if it is cold. We were talking about this the other day.
Well, because I've always said this, and you get all, your body is what it is. The temperature doesn't matter. Nobody gets sick because it's cold out. Your immune system eats garbage.
I said that no one gets sick unless their immune system is compromised, and science is always learning things. But for the most part, they said it's got nothing to do. Well, you know, like when you were a kid and your mom would be like, don't sit on the wet concrete. It just rained. You'll get sick.
Ours was don't go outside with wet hair.
It's nonsense, right?
But it's not.
Because science learns new things and changes, and so we have to learn and change with it.
Science
what
has
you sent
learned
me,
that you are wrong.
that colder temperatures reduce the germ-fighting abilities in your nose.
Ours was don't go into the water when you're a missionary because the devil controls it.
Wait, the devil controls you or the water?
Water, not
like
me.
the moon, you know?
Duh.
The devil controls the... I'm sure we've talked about this.
I've not heard
The
this.
devil controls the water?
Yeah. When you're
To what end?
To
Because it's 70...
Because they didn't want to insure people that were going overseas, so the way that they would be able to ensure that we were doing less dangerous stuff is saying, don't go in the ocean, don't go in
But you can get plenty
pools.
hurt on land.
Yes, but it's more common to get hurt in a boat or on a, in the water. They're just trying to mitigate risks, but they would phrase it as Satan has dominion over the seas. So
Poseidon.
Mormons, when you're a missionary, they don't want you going in the ocean or pools or anything like that.
Listen, I understand that religion and science are non-overlapping magisteria here, but how much dominion can the Lord have over the world if the devil controls the seas and the planet is 75% water?
Exactly.
That gives a quarter of the dominion
Alan,
to the big guy upstairs.
This is why I questioned what these people were teaching
Why
me.
didn't they question it?
Because they're not. That's another thing they teach is don't question things.
Don't question that the devil controls the oceans?
But just while you're a missionary. Like, you could go in the ocean just fine. It's just when you're a Mormon missionary, they didn't want you going in the ocean.
But there have to be swimming Mormons.
But it's just when you're a missionary.
What does that have to do with anything,
Because
though?
that's when the devil wants to try and bring you down the most.
But he can do it on land.
I know. He did. He got me. That water.
I was going to say, so in that, if you can find any logic, I mean, sometimes you'll find logic in an unlikely place. Conversely, did they believe that the devil couldn't get you on land?
Man,
Clearly
I don't
that could.
know.
Well,
nothing they taught made a lot of sense. And so you just keep questioning it. You see all the cracks and you go, I got to get out of this.
I mean, listen,
stupid
organized religion of any stripe by its very nature is mostly nonsense. But some of the newer ones, they've really had to come up with some interesting crap
and that's why
to separate themselves from other. The devil's in the water.
The logic that I've figured out was it was really just an insurance thing where they're like, hey, we don't want you doing water activities because it's more likely you could get hurt.
Right, but why not just tell you that? That you can
Because
understand.
Because you're not afraid of that.
Yeah, not afraid of that. You don't, because
Everybody's afraid of getting hurt.
no, but no 19, 20-year-old thinks they're the one that's going to get hurt.
Okay, so
Satan
if
has
you got
dominion
so
over the
if you got hurt in the water,
Yeah,
then what?
I would have been in trouble.
Right,
Extra
but
trouble.
But you don't need to throw the devil into it. They could go,
Yeah,
hey,
you can't take the devil out of it, though. The devil's a very important part of religion.
The devil's in the details, and
Yeah.
those details are the seat.
Yeah.
interesting.
Also, what's the difference between the sea and ocean?
Nothing.
I think it's size,
It's
baby.
different bodies of water, I believe.
Like, what's a sea?
It's not as
Like
big.
the Dead Sea's not as big, right? But it's still.
Maybe it has to do with the amount. Oh no, that doesn't make sense. I was gonna say the amount of land it touches.
I
but
think
was
what I would do is I would refer to the only one among us who took a class called Oceans.
It's true.
And we would defer to the knowledge of
And-
one Cody, Alan, helpful,
And
Poundcake.
I'm sure he'll be
Brown.
able to answer this without looking it up.
Take it
Because he
away.
knows.
Because he's also in the 50% of people who have a college degree. So let's hear it.
Yes, but well,
Don't try and talk yourself out of this.
from my oceans class,
What's a sea?
Difference between a sea and an ocean.
a sea is wait, no. A sea, I think, is between two continents, and then an ocean is no. I don't know.
You're kind of on the right track, but you're flipping them. I believe he'll conjure the info.
A sea, I feel like is
Not what you feel, what you know.
I'm trying to remember because we did discuss it because I was like, it's an ocean. Everything is the ocean. The big body of water is all the ocean.
Everything's the ocean.
No, the big body of water
That's
is all
what the devil
ocean.
controls. The devil doesn't have any dominion over the sea, just the oceans.
Sea is more between two countries more than like the continents.
Seas are partially enclosed by land.
There you go.
Yeah, they're surrounded by two
Yeah,
countries.
the
or
oceans are the huge expanses of water.
Yeah, everything. Because I always wondered the same thing about. I was like, well, what makes rivers? Why do we have rivers? Because they're
Or
all
a tributary.
they're all connected to the lake. Like they either come from the lake or from the ocean at some point. So I was like, the Ohio River goes all the way down Mississippi from Lake Erie to it comes from the ocean. It goes into the Gulf of Mexico.
So did the devil control every body of water?
Yeah.
Every body
When
of
you're-
water.
When you're a missionary, I can't stress that part enough. 'Cause
Not
there was
when
no
you're
rules.
in America.
Yeah, well, no, because my brother went on his mission in America. So
He still wasn't allowed to go
So
swimming.
they
So
were
still weren't allowed to
making
go
so they
swimming.
were making things up for basically every contingent of you being unsupervised
Mhm.
and saying, "Hey," rather than going, there is a practical matter of insurance. I mean, listen, you can't take an organization as wealthy as Latter-day Saints and say that they don't have any head for business. So you think they would have said, we don't have, like, why make it a devil thing as opposed to, guys,
Everything's
listen,
a devil thing.
but it's not.
But it is in religion.
They own a lot of real estate. They didn't buy it from the devil.
They are the
I mean,
wealthiest church.
yes. So it's just very strange that we go, guys, it's an insurance thing. We're sending you off to another country. Surely you can understand that. Could you stand, let's say, shin deep in a creek?
I mean, you weren't supposed to, as far as I know.
Could you be ankle deep in a brook,
the
babbling
thing
or
is,
otherwise?
Sometimes there would be floods, and we'd have to walk through those flooded streets.
Oh, no.
And
Yeah, you're
that was
living in the-
actually really disgusting.
You're living in the Philippines, for
Yeah.
Christ's sake. It's not like they put you in Germany. You're in the Philippines. There's water everywhere.
So it's one of those things, I actually just looked it up, and there's a lot of stuff that gets spread around that is more myth than actual doctrine with the Mormon church. So the church policy prohibiting missionaries from swimming is just a safety precaution. That's all it is.
Okay.
But then
Where did you get the devil in the water?
But that's what they...
Everything is the devil when it comes to religion. My mom would tell us we were late to school because of the devil.
Listen, I grew up
But they would tell
hardcore
us-
Catholic, and they didn't throw the devil into that many things. You don't want to go to hell and burn and be hanging out with the devil, but they weren't like, hey, if you go swimming, it's because the devil controls it.
Well,
But there was just an almost like an urban myth within the Mormon church that said that we weren't allowed to go in there because Satan has dominion over the waters. So that's something I remember hearing, and part of the reason we weren't allowed to go in, but no one ever straightened it out when I was a missionary.
And also, and I say this as a non-swimmer, the water's awesome. Like, what's the pro? Why throw the water? Why conflate the water with evil or Satan or what?
That goes back to they have a
Wasn't
a book
Jesus
called,
a fisher of men?
He could walk
He was
on the water.
surrounded
Yeah.
by people who fished.
he's not worried about it. He can walk on top of it.
Right. So he's walking on the devil's head.
Right.
Oh, I see.
You can't get him if you're on top.
Yeah, that's right. Take that, devil! I'm tapping all over your noggin. Oh, man.
I don't understand why you're having such trouble grasping this. You know what the problem is? You're trying to find logic in it. And
Well,
you just have to accept the fact that they lied.
But there are but at the core of every lie is a truth. And I don't understand why a situation like that. There's a million things you could throw the devil into that somebody would go, okay.
It's the
But
same
the
reason
water?
you tell people or tell kids that Santa is like, we have a little ornament that says Santa Cam.
Yeah.
And we tell Blake when she's acting up, look, there's Santa Cam. He can see what you're doing. I mean, it's kind of exactly the same thing.
It's
we want you
kind
to
of not
we
exactly
don't want
the same
We don't
thing.
want you to do this thing, so we're going to tell you that a being
Santa's not a religion.
controls it.
I forgot to tell you about the Santa cam that
Santa
we had
is-
as missionaries.
It was a Satan cam, and it was trained on the water. Just spelled wrong.
I'm saying you just lie you play to your audience.
But that is a
She's worried about Santa. He's worried about the devil.
But that is a temporary lie that you tell small children, and the reason they believe you is because they have small children brains.
No, because they want
to
presents.
tell
His present
adults
Eternal life.
is eternal life in his own
to
planet.
tell adults that the devil controls the water is very different than telling a third grader.
But it's not.
You want to.
It's really not.
The only similarity is you're trying to keep people in line. Except in one situation, you're trying to keep children in line, and the other one, you're telling a ridiculous
A
lie.
brainwashed
to-
person, not a regular questioning adult.
Well, Bill did.
Yeah, after he started fooling around and
Well, that's
No,
all
I
it takes.
questioned before I started fooling
but
around.
It sounds like a very,
Peeing things.
very thin line.
I
It
had
takes
the questions before I
Right,
started
but
doing
how
that
many
stuff.
people
it's a
were
very
just straight?
thin. It's a very thin line between if all that keeps you from the devil isn't in the water is your wiener getting touched by somebody. That's not a good basis for any kind of organizational belief system.
All I'm
Not
saying
necessarily
is
true.
that it's kind of similar brainwashing. You have to act a certain way or do a certain thing in order to receive your prize.
Right,
And let's
but
be
eventually,
honest, the Santa camera makes more sense.
Yeah.
but eventually, and I will tread lightly here for the benefit of parents who might have children in the car. The Santa thing, eventually every child comes to the same conclusion.
Sure.
Not every person comes to the conclusion Bill did. I mean,
Some of them continue to believe that the
that
devil's
can't
in the
be
water.
true. Your parents,
parents
don't.
do.
They do not.
I mean,
Your parents are fine people. There's no way they believe.
Brainwashing.
Because you said it was just for when you're a missionary.
right, but it's like they believe that missionaries shouldn't go swimming.
So
But
when
also,
do they
like,
tell
I
you?
think that's where I came from. I'm pretty sure my dad was one of the ones that said, "Yeah, he's got Satan's got dominion over the water." Also, if you want to get into stuff my dad believes, you're going to be blown away.
But those are-
by this seemingly regular, logical man believing some
but
wild
those,
stuff.
But those are political in nature.
Political
doesn't
and
matter.
religious.
They are not fundamentally conflated. People have conflated politics and religion. They are not fundamentally connected, is what I'm saying. Your parents don't believe as people in their 60s. 60s?
Yeah,
Sure they do.
They don't believe.
I was going to be 69 this year.
Yeah, nice. They probably go swimming on occasion. You've taken
again because
vacations.
they're not missionaries.
So is the thought, okay, upon conclusion of your missionary work, we'll tell you, or they think that it's all made up. They'll figure it out. Tell you?
From what I remember being told, and again, this wasn't doctrine now that I look back on the thing. It really was just a safety thing. But they said Satan has dominion over the water, and he sees Mormon missionaries as the soldiers of God, so he's going to do everything he can to take them down. So that's eliminating one way that he can take them down, so you don't go in the water. So just while you're a missionary.
So why is the massive Mormon population posted up on the Great Salt Lake instead of Phoenix, Arizona?
Because it's only when you're a missionary.
Not every day. Only when you're in a missionary
2 years.
position.
But when you're done, they
Doesn't
go.
matter.
It's
That
over.
rule is only for missionaries, not for every day. This is a missionary rule.
Right. But missionaries are still operating like in the world of other people. They're not in a bubble.
Right. And that's also what I'm telling you. It wasn't doctrine. This was something that someone was passing along that wasn't the reason they're doing it. It was really just a safety thing.
So
They
does
were lying.
So does BYU have a swim team?
Yes, because
They
they're
are not
missionaries.
missionaries.
I don't know what they are.
Oh, my God.
I don't know what they are.
They're not missionaries.
Is your mission come before or after college, or is that a version of you don't go to college, you go on a mission?
You graduate high school. Some people would do a year of college, and then they'd go on their mission, and then they get back and they finish college.
Do you defer your mission by going to college or no?
No, usually
It's not like the military service.
Usually
you
you
conscripted
do
into
1 year of school, because when I was going, you had to be 19 to go. Now they changed it to 18 so that kids right out of high school could go on their mission, and then when they get back, they go to college. They're very big on continuing your education.
So everybody,
but they want you to do the mission.
Gotcha. So everybody who's going to like BYU at one point or another will go on a mission.
Not everyone, but most of them. Most of the men.
Okay. Interesting. Boy, that's interesting.
Yeah. So Mormons can swim. They just don't want the missionaries.
It stands to reason that they would.
Yeah.
Wow. Alan Cox Show After Hours line. You can always leave us messages, voicemails there if you like. It's 216-986-8903.
Alan, baby, please. I mean, I get it. You're mailing it in for 2022, but an air guitar contest on the radio in 2022? Yowza, man, that is bad. Wow, do better. Get Bill in there. Write some original, funny content. I'm going to have to find a new show, dude.
Okay, Boomer. That guy's upset because we're doing a Mayor Guitar contest. Apparently, I'm phoning it in by doing this.
Well, you didn't take any of my ideas.
Well, you... listen, this guy goes, have Bill do some other stuff. Bill did come up with some ideas, but I did shoot them all down. Tell Mary what the ideas were.
I wasn't there for this meeting.
All right. Most cat hair on a black pair of pants contest.
No.
I could win that one too, honestly.
Yeah, probably. Bubblegum swallowing contest, not chewing.
No.
Pool noodle karaoke.
No.
I don't hate that.
IKEA dresser assembly speed trial.
No.
Oh, yes. Could you imagine losing the little screws in the cracks of the brick out here?
Guess I should have gone to Bill.
Most unique grundle smell.
Oh, and Cody
No.
has to smell it? He likes grundles.
And not the worst, the most unique.
No.
That's the key.
Nope.
All right. SpaghettiOs spelling bee. So you have to use SpaghettiOs to spell all the words.
Nope.
No? Okay.
They're all O's.
Sometimes they're C's.
Cool.
Name that Jennifer, Aniston, or Garner.
No, I didn't like that one either. I mean, again,
options.
too many.
Humidifier butt chug.
No.
All right.
It's been done.
Hot sauce butt chug.
Are we moving into the butt chug portion of the ideas?
Motor oil butt chug.
No.
Yeah, they're pretty much all butt chugs after that.
Again, listen, if you don't like it, don't listen. I don't care what you think. Person who's never come up with anything interesting.
Also, just come get the tickets. Come
get
me.
the tickets, yeah.
Come battle me and get
Yeah,
a ticket.
420. Yeah, just come
Not
on.
that hard.
Show me up, right? Prove me wrong. Come get these tickets for
Also, in
Detroit next fall.
2022, we have videos, so
Yes. That's why I said, okay, Boomer.
yeah, like you can watch it.
Yeah, come on. Get on board, baby. Or don't. I don't care. But I do care if you want to shoot me a text, because I have to take a break here. 35192 if you want to do that. I will have passes for the new movie Babylon. If you've seen any trailers for that, it's Margot Robbie, it's Brad Pitt, it's some of that roaring 20s stuff.